Suspects. The great Yadakuji and GQ are here. What's up, fellas?
Hey.
Good evening, everybody.
How's everything?
As well can be, I guess.
Yeah, it's all going good. All going good. The other Steve is out there. What's up? You know what? The no sound part. I forgot that spot with it. Yeah.
Really? You just did another open with no sound?
I did do another open with no sound. Apparently, yes. Shame on me. You're correct.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, it's all good. So I hope everybody's had a really great week. If you're here in Michigan, the weather is beautiful. Beautiful.
Don't say that out loud.
Oh yeah, I know, because now tomorrow it's going to be like 30 degrees.
Bouncing back and forth like a rubber band.
Exactly. It's going to snow tomorrow just because you said that.
That was the weirdest thing ever, man. Like we was on Sunday, it was like 70 degrees. It was like 70 degrees one day, and the next day it was like freezing cold, and I saw snow flurries flying around. I was like, this is crazy.
Yes, sir.
Is crazy.
Yep.
You should never have to deal with this. This is crazy. This is crazy. Anyway, so obviously a lot of stuff is out there. The passing of Akira Toriyama, but we're not going to necessarily talk about that just yet. But a couple other things. GQ, you may mention, and you and Dido, we were talking about the new Contra game that came out as a remake of Contra. Just dropped this past week, and we was talking about how to get the game would cost how much again?
Well, it's $40, and then if you have PlayStation Plus, it's $35. I don't know how long the game is, but for a digital game, no, I'm not giving y'all $45.
Okay, by comparison, how much was that Turtles game, the Shredder's Revenge? How much? Do you
30,
remember how
I
much?
think.
Yeah, 30.
That was 30.
I think
that was 30. This is 40. That was 30. This is 40. How? I mean, I know this is Konami, but Konami was the Turtles game too, right?
No,
it
was
no company.
No, they
okay.
Yeah, Konami doesn't have the license for that. They haven't had it in a while.
Yeah, that's Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon owns Turtles, and then they let another company make that.
Okay.
Shredder's Revenge. But the Contra, again, the demo was fun. The demo was great. I don't see $40 in value at the moment unless it was a physical release with some.
It
some
is.
goodies.
You can get it physical. I don't know if it's out yet, but yeah, I saw. It was on Facebook, I think. Somebody was like, "Why is this a limited run thing?" or something like that. And so I think it's like a not a real limited run, because there's two types of limited runs. You got the real ones, and you got ones that they just kind of like put on their website that people think are limited run.
Yeah.
But I believe that Contra is. Why is this taking forever to tell me the goddamn price of Shredder's Revenge? Okay, I just wanted to know the price of Shredder's Revenge. The whole page loaded up except for the price. The price was like,
it's thinking.
Thinking.
It's trying to do it like Lobster. It's market price.
That's funny.
Like we're going to switch it
but
on
limited run. I pulled that up already. Let's see what we got here. Limited run, Contra, $39.99. Yeah, you get a PlayStation 5. They got the Switch, what do they call that? A limited version that looks like it's the NES like box. It's gray. It says Contra on it. Kind of has the old school Bill and what's his name? Lance on there. And then you got the big time collector's edition. If you want to buy that one, it's $174.99. Woo.
That better come
comes
with
a
statues.
lot of stuff.
I'll take a look at it.
Yeah,
I'll take a
it
look
comes
at it.
with quite a bit stuff.
And the thing is,
two statues, and
that shows the backwards thinking of a collector, because I'm sitting here complaining about $40 digital, but I'm considering $175 for the collectors because it's physical with some stuff. So
it's all the stuff.
Yeah. I mean, if that gives anybody a peek into the mind of a collector, I don't know what else would.
So
stupid thing still hasn't told me the price.
So your whole thing is that it's because it's essentially it's a $40 game that you feel like isn't worth $40. It's not like you're getting soundtrack. It's not like you're getting extra characters, extra weapons.
You getting extra characters. You're not just getting Bill and Lance. There's like 2 or 3 other characters in there. They put the Pro Protectors in there.
But that's
it's 4 players.
That's base game,
yeah,
right?
It is base game. But look, listen, Linda, listen.
Don't do that.
Remind me to never say that ever again.
Yeah, but don't say that no more. Don't say that.
40 is the new budget, dude, because games are $70 now.
All right.
Yeah, there's really no $20 price point, because I think when Turtles, those Shredder's Revenge may have been $30 digitally. I think
put it in Facebook chat. It's $34.99 for Turtles.
You can get it $25.99 digital on the Switch right now. But regardless of that, what I'm getting at is that physical is the game was, I think, $40. Turtles Revenge Unlimited Run. I believe it was $40 when you wanted to buy it physical. So that's just the new budget. Because like, me, I would say, oh, I'm gonna wait for a game to get $20 before I buy. I'm gonna wait till $20. I'm seeing GameFly, where I bought a lot of games back in the day because they were used. It's $40 for his stuff now. It's $40, $29.99. Nothing is $20. So
yeah, and you're right. I mean, it's that. Unfortunately, that's the new normal. Essentially, once they up the price of every next generation game up by 10, that became the thing. It's like, okay, well, now that raises the bar for what is considered a budget title now, or a bargain title. So that's the world we live in. First world problems and all. Let's see. Market Superior Prior. If it has a collector's edition, I have to get it, especially with a statue or something physical. Down like Charlie Brown, and I'm right there with you. Tekken 8. I picked that one up, collector's edition. I did the unboxing. You guys can check that video out. But when I got it, I was sorely disappointed in the statue, because the Jin statue is tiny compared to Tekken 7, one generation back, half the price of this collector's edition, big ass Heihachi versus Kazuya statue. So it's just like $150 for that collector's edition, came with some cool swag. This one's damn near $300, and it's weak by comparison. So,
well, let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
Crap. I forgot it.
It'll come to you.
No, it had to do about the collector's edition. Oh, okay. Now I remember it. What was more disappointing? Hold on. Both hands are not in frame. What was more disappointing? The Infinity Stones or Jin?
Both equally disappointing, honestly. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. The Infinity Eggs, as I like to call them, from Marvel Infinites, or Marvel's
Capcom Infinity Eggs, bro. That was
terrible.
It was terrible.
But here's the thing: as bad as that was, that game still came with 4 statues and those garbage ass eggs. So that, and the steelbook, if I remember right, that's not bad considering. I think that was might have been 200. I think that was a $200 collector's edition. But 4 statues, that's kind of unheard of, with the exception of that the Darksiders, I think it was Darksiders 3 or something like that, came with the huge edition, came with 4 statues as well. But Tekken's, the Jin statue is tiny. In all the pictures, it looks like it's huge. You see the actual statue is tiny, and it lights up like, ooh. Like, nah, y'all need to do way better than that. That's part of the reason I kind of didn't really care that I missed out on the Final Fantasy Rebirth one, because I'm like, they're like, all the things say the Sephiroth statue is 19 inches tall, but that's 19 inches because the tip of his sword is where they measure from.
Yeah.
So he's got that giant Muramasa blade. So it's just like, okay, he's probably like less than 12 inches tall then. So I'm like, nah, I ain't giving y'all all that money for weak statues.
For Remake, what was the collectible for Remake?
Remakes was good because it was Cloud with his motorcycle.
Okay,
yeah, and that was big.
Yeah,
that was actually big and good size and all that other sort of stuff. I think they actually released the statue in him later separately anyway. What's up to Fallen Marvel? He's checking in over on Facebook. Grand Finals Game is checking in. Let's see.
Okay.
Cream said that's why he only buys his games from Deku Deals. Deku Deals, send a check.
Deku Deals, huh?
Yeah, they there's a website that is awesome because it aggregates every sale You can put it in for every system. You can make your own wish list. It will alert you when they go on sale. It keeps a ticker tracking on like the lowest it's ever been and whatnot. It's really good, most definitely for those who want to buy the games at a lesser price.
Yep. Real quick answer, Marcus Superior Prior, before we move on. Yeah, the Darksiders, I lucked up on that one. That's one thing that I do a lot. Dido and I actually used to do it a lot back when we were younger. Is just hit different stores, find different crazy deals every now and again. The Darksiders one was at a Best Buy, and it was just there. It was, one of those things sitting on the shelf. They were trying to get rid of it. So I ended up getting that Darksiders, that big ass box, 4 statues and other stuff for like $120 or something, even though it originally was $400. So, every now and again,
I love how everybody has co-opted my day.
What do you mean co-op? Oh,
the 313
day.
Well,
I'm not the only one. We know 2 other people that today is their birthday too. So shout out to Alice Riley. Happy birthday. I know she's not watching. I'm very sorry about what happened.
Yes, indeed.
Her mom. And
we're thinking about her 100%.
Shout out to Zach because today is also his birthday.
Oh, Zach. Oh, Zach Riles, man. I ain't talked to him in a minute.
He's giving out everybody's full names today, huh?
Yeah.
Well, maybe I did.
Happy birthday to Dido. So everybody wish Dido a happy birthday. They're in the chat.
And you ain't got to do
donate to his liquor cup, because he was talking about how drunk. What'd you say? How drunk? How much?
If I can get drunk enough, to die today or something like that. It was
just, something like how much? Something like that. Marcus is saying his is next Tuesday. His is next Tuesday. That's pretty cool.
Oh boy. A whole week.
Fallen. They will never do that.
19.
He's saying Fallen is saying they need to advertise the scale and not the height. Here's the problem with that. Most people don't understand the scale. They just don't. Like, they hear 6 scale and they're like, what does that mean?
Wait,
most 6 scale stuff is about 12 inches, 11 to 12 inches. 7 scale is a little bit smaller than that. A lot of people think because the other number is bigger, they don't understand the ratio part of it. They mess that up. So saying, for example, the Sephiroth statue is a close to 1/3 scale. Most people don't understand that. But you say it's 19 inches tall. Oh, wow, that's probably a big statue. That's all they care about. They want to get that money. So
give me that money. I want my money now.
Okay, but when they say 6 scale, is that, what are they basing the scale off of? The original size of, like, because if you think of like scales for models, right? And like with Gundams, they say a 1/44th, right? So that's like 1/44th of the original size of the actual Gundam.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The whole idea of it is this: 6 scale is 6 scale because they go off of an average height of 6 feet tall. Yes, most people aren't 6 feet tall, but from a easy to understand, it's like, okay, well, it's 1 foot tall, basically. If you had 6 of them stacked on top of each other, that would be a representation of how tall this particular thing is. For example, I've got a 1/6 scale Batmobile coming later this year. That's 1/6 the size of the 1989 Batmobile. Okay. So it's going to be big as heck, but the whole idea is if you could expand this by 6, it'd be full size. Same thing with 10. All scales work that way. Whatever the other number is, it needs to be upped by that number, basically, to get to what would be original full size. That's why 3rd scale statues are so big, because a 3rd scale statue is about 2 feet tall on average. If it's half scale, obviously 3 feet or half of whatever is trying to emulate. That sort of thing. But for example, Unicron, you can't do that in any scale unless you go back to the Gundam example, because he's a freaking planet. So it's like, well,
exactly.
Unicron is, this many inches around or whatever, because most people can get their head wrapped around that. That's usually how that goes.
Okay.
Yeah, Fallen people don't want to learn nothing new. You know that. You've been challenged by quite a few people on the internet that don't want to learn anything new. So
right. Exactly. All right, guys. So I feel like enough people are here. So let's talk about the unfortunate passing of Akira Toriyama, which happened, which actually happened the first week of March. I think it was like March 1st.
Yep.
He had passed away. But they kept it silent. They let the family, have their private ceremony, which I thought was really awesome. The fact that he had passed, nobody in the entire world knew until like a week and a half later, right?
I honestly wouldn't mind if they did that with a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, and that's what I mean, because it's like they gave the family time to be private, to grieve, to have their ceremony, to really be able to put their affairs in order and not have to deal with, a bunch of crazy fans, coming at them. And yeah, many of them might, probably have very well-meaning wishes, but it can just get to be too much, right? Mm-hmm. Especially with someone of his stature, right? So I thought that was really dope that they managed to do that. And he had passed away. Kaiju Jones has got a great point. He was a very private man to begin with, from what I understand, so that worked in his favor, right? So he never really made a public appearances. He put out statements. You rarely ever saw his face because it was really all about the work. He kind of wanted to do that. And Fallen is right. We're so used to TMZ announcements over here in America.
And that's kind of become the actual problem with social media in general.
Yes,
is the people's need for instant knowledge. It's like it's not specifically something you need to know.
Right. It's not your business, right?
Yeah.
You can find out later, and just give people time, to process, to grieve properly. Like I remember, I think there was somebody. I don't know the specific case, but this is how bad it is over here in America. It's like TMZ announced the death of somebody, a family member found out from TMZ. They didn't even find out from the hospital, which is crazy to think about. But that's the world we live in. But anyway, Akira Toriyama passes away, unfortunately. Acute brain edema, which I think the rumor is out there that he actually had a brain tumor, and he ended up passing away from that. Bleeding in the brain, which was the official kind of diagnosis from him passing away. But obviously the entire world, in the pop culture world, gave their platitudes. I saw people from Michael B. Jordan, O'Shea Jackson, Ice Cube's son, made mention. Jackie Chan, said something. It's been in Variety, it's been all over the tabloids about how Akira Toriyama passed away. And obviously he's meant a lot to a lot of people over numerous generations, and has inspired a lot of artists, fans, whether in all walks of life. Because did you see, I don't know if you guys saw fans in, what was that? Was that in South America? I think for like a soccer match or something like that. Fans of a team walked in and they were like dressed as Super Saiyans. They had, wigs, and then they had the scouters on their eyes and, stuff like that. It was at a soccer match. And I even saw like around the world, there was people doing flash mobs of getting together and doing the Genkidama. And even in wrestling, I saw, I don't know, was it in AEW? There was like a women's match or something like that. Or was it NXT? I don't know which promotion it was, but they came together and they did the fusion dance. Right there in the ring. Yeah,
a lot of wrestlers, especially now, because you got to remember, a lot of wrestlers now are younger, and they're kids that grew up with Dragon Ball and that sort of thing. That's their pop culture. That's what they were inspired by. Because I mean, even you had WrestleMania a couple years back. The New Day came out dressed as Saiyans.
As Saiyans, yes, I remember that.
So yes, I remember that. The culture has definitely expanded and become a lot more accepted globally. And obviously, Akira Toriyama's, again, he's done other stuff, but everybody knows him for Dragon Ball. So I mean, it's understandable.
Dragon Ball, 100%. Dragon Ball has been the gateway for people to become anime fans for since we were young. It is. Yeah, and Kaiju Jones is right. He's like, I saw 20,000 people join together to do the Spirit Bomb. I mean, that was a lot of people would love to be able to make that kind of impact on people, young and old. And just the man, as private and as quiet as he was, he he inspired a lot of creators after him. Like Fallen Marvel said, he was saying what really hit home to him were all the other shonen creators basically paying him their respects. Like, Tite Kubo, I think Eiichiro Oda said something as well. Which is wild because, we were just talking about in the pre-show, Kentaro Miura from Berserk actually was an intern of Akira Toriyama on Dragon Ball at one point back in the day. Evil One Gaming over on Twix says, I don't know how true it is, but the cartel had a day of peace in honor of him. I mean, if that's true, wow. that's kind of wild. If that's true, that's kind of wild.
If you can do peace over Dragon Ball, you can do peace over anything. Like,
no, that's true. No, that's 100% true. 100% true. But no, man, I mean, just we became fans of anime not necessarily because of Dragon Ball, but it definitely helped put us over the top, right?
Yeah.
When we were younger, like to this day, GQ's favorite movie of Dragon Ball is
movie 7, man.
Movie 7. It's movie 7.
Super Android.
That's like the first one I think we all saw.
Actually, I think that was the first Dragon Ball movie I saw.
The first one I actually saw was Tree of Might. That was literally the first one I actually.
Movie 3 was your first?
Mm-hmm. Really? I saw Tree of Might because it was just one of those random things where it's just like, what is this? And then I watched it. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool because obviously this is before Super Saiyan and what we all know as the heart of Dragon Ball Z for a lot of people. But to me, movie 7 is still the best introduction for anybody that's never seen it before. It's like, okay, if you want the gist of what this series can offer, boom, movie 7, because it's got the comedy aspect, it's got the Super Saiyan aspect, it's got the fighting aspect. So it's just like, okay, this is awesome. But Tree of Might was just kind of like, okay, that was kind of cool. It was different, but it wasn't what movie 7 offered and became. So
I'll never forget your animated music video, your anime music video set to I think it was a lot of footage from Tree of Might in that one. What I remember. I want to say what's up to B1N1 checking in over there on YouTube. Fallen Marvel saying, which one is movie 7?
Movie 7 is called Super Android 13 in some instance over here. You got to remember.
Yeah,
you got to remember. For us, we were the fan sub,
the fan sub generation.
They didn't give them their titles; they just numbered them. That was never officially called Movie 7. We called it that.
We called it Movie 7 because
I think it was. I think it was actually the 7th movie.
No, it was.
No, it was.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's what we called.
Nobody. Yeah. We got to remember at conventions, nobody gave them their actual titles. They were just movie 1, movie 7, movie 3.
Yeah, so that freaking goddamn tape that probably went around all of Metro Detroit that everybody freaking copied.
Yeah,
exactly.
Movie 7 and 8.
Yeah, because like I said, most people again, even when the title came up in in kanji and katakana, it was just like. We didn't know.
No, it's movie 7. Who cares?
Yeah, it's like we called it movie 7.
The legendary 3 Super Saiyans. No, we called it movie 7.
Exactly.
we called it movie 7.
Kaji said his first was Cooler's Revenge, which of course
I was lost, but I dug it. So he was lost more likely because the movies obviously always pattern themselves after what's going on in the current season that's airing.
Yep.
So the Cooler's Revenge was always was after the death of Frieza. So that's where him being lost. I totally understand that. Fallen Marvel says, "Okay, I always get Broly, Android 13, and BoJack numbers mixed up," which is weird because they follow 7, 8, 9 really right in order.
And
7 is androids. Yep. Broly was 8, and BoJack was 9. Which surprisingly, BoJack, looking back at it, the BoJack movie was kind of weak.
No, the BoJack movie should have let Vegeta get his shine. That was his chance, man. I was so mad. I was just like, dude, he showed up, saved Trunks out of the blue. And
yes.
I'm like, okay, this is it. This man is
the chance.
About to run the game. He's about to run. It's like, give it to Gohan. I'm like,
give it to Gohan. Yes, because he was Super Saiyan 2.
The next one.
Yeah,
I was hurt, man.
Which is wild because movie 9, the stuff he was doing to BoJack's minions still paled in comparison to how he was housing the Cell Juniors in the Cell game.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
Yeah. Gohan was stone cold. Cold.
And then 10. What was 10? Because I know Bio Broly is 11. But
Janemba.
10 was Janemba.
Janemba?
Okay, thank you. I always forget that one for whatever reason. And then, of course,
11 was Bio Broly.
12
was 12
final or whatever. I think they called it, didn't it?
No,
that's when we did that the Dragon Punch.
Oh no, that was 13.
I forget what they called that one.
That was 13.
That was 13.
That was 13.
Hold
13
on.
was the Dragon Punch. Look, see now I need to refresh.
When Trunks got his sword, was that 12 or was that also 13?
That was 13.
No, Fusion Reborn is 12, so that one's probably Janemba. Yeah, 12 is Janemba.
Damn. So
which one was 10?
Somebody in the chat got to get it. Come on, y'all. And the worst part is, I have them all over there. Every single one. I have all the movies.
That's Bio Broly. That was
Bio second Broly.
Yeah, 10 was Bio Broly. Yeah.
Wow.
Bio Broly.
Okay. And then 11 then.
Wow. No, wait. What the hell? Well, there was 3 Broly movies? Because 11 is Bio Broly. 10 is Broly,
there's 3 Broly movies. Yeah.
Oh, 10 is Second Coming.
Yeah, 10 was the second time Broly showed up. Bio Broly was 11. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So that's what I was missing.
Then
I love that. I love that one theme, though. Pycon's theme, I think it was.
Pycon's theme was also always cold.
Pycon's theme was so fucking good. Man, that was a good theme. But
good stuff.
Again, I don't know if this got sent out to everybody. I put a YouTube link in for a guy that did a Dragon Ball tribute for Akira Toriyama playing Chala Head-Chala on an ocarina.
Really? Where'd you put it?
I put it in the chat widget for Video Ninja, but who knows? Maybe.
Then it should have been broadcast out to everybody. And
I'll
maybe
just put it in
saw
Facebook real quick as well.
Go ahead and do that. Yeah, go ahead and do that.
And I'm going to go ahead and that'll come up.
So where do the cooler flicks fall? So Kaiju Jones, the cooler flicks are respectively, I think they are
5 and 6.
5 and 6. Yes, they are 5 and 6.
5 and 6.
Yep. 6 is when we see Vegeta go Super Saiyan for the first time in a film. And then obviously 7 is where Trunks, Vegeta, and Goku go ham. Yeah, Metal Cooler. Yep, Cooler's Revenge as it's called over here. But yeah, Dragon Ball 7 is many anime music videos have used it. I've used it a million times. Like it was a perfect encapsulation of action. And it was just like,
it was good action
at the time. It's like nobody's topping this because it was good.
You always got the meme of Goku getting the nut shot.
Oh God,
you always got that,
dude. Android 13 beating him up as he's flying in the air. I mean, just running alongside him. I mean, there's so much cool stuff. And then Android, what the heck was his number? Was he 15 or was he 14? The little small one, the little midget dude. Whatever number he was with his flask. I always like that dude. It's because it made no sense. It's like you're a robot. But
okay, so this is a good one. This is a good one from Kaiju Jones out of Facebook. He's saying, okay, I would have assumed much later, but do you guys feel the animation quality went down in the films over time? Cooler's Revenge was tight, but the later films, based on you guys listing, were less quality. Absolutely not. Movie 7 was fantastic quality. Janemba's movie was actually fantastic. Now, they may not all be the same, but the animation quality in 13 was fantastic. The Janemba movie, not the Janemba,
that's Pycon or whatever.
Not Pycon. Pycon was the Otherworld champion, but movie 13 was 13 Dragon Ball. What's the character's name again? It is. What is his name? I can't remember it.
I don't remember, but Fusion Reborn was one where it seemed like they were starting to like dabble in a little bit of slight computer animation type looking stuff. Now it probably wasn't. They did some crazy stuff with cell animation. And to this day, my favorite one is still Trunks slicing Frieza in half.
It's Tapia.
Literally Tapia. Okay. And literally both frames separating, and it's still animating on both sides. So I was just like, I'm like, dude, nobody did anything like that back in the day. That was so creative.
Right. And I 100% think the animation quality in movies fluctuated. I don't think they were
yeah.
always
Absolutely.
the best, right?
Yeah.
So there were certain movies that got more, like obviously we say movie 7 got some good stuff. Movie 13 had some good stuff. Broly's, I feel like maybe wasn't quite as good as 7.
Broly was up and down, because when you get to the point, certain points of it, like when they all finally teamed up and surrounded him from all 4 sides, that looked great. But very similar to how Fatal Fury, the motion picture, Fatal Fury 2 suddenly went from really good to like, okay, we're just sloppy
cheap
blobs fighting each other. I'm like, are y'all trying, or are y'all just tired?
Right.
You had those types of fluctuations within the same movie. Go ahead.
I don't know. I remember, I think it was the first few episodes of Dragon Ball Super. That was the worst I've ever seen Dragon Ball animated, when like Goku changed Super Saiyan 3 and was fighting Beers on, I think it was Beers on the freaking Kai's planet. Kai's planet. That to me was the worst I've ever seen. Outside of that, to me it always
and I feel like with Dragon Ball Super. No, go ahead. Go ahead, GQ.
No, real quick. You're saying for the actual episodes, not the film. Because remember the film.
Yeah, it was the films. Like the films to me, I don't really recall animation. Like, I mean, you guys are probably looking at a fine-tooth comb. I wasn't, because like I don't really recall too much animation being really bad as it progressed. That's just me. It's been a while since I've watched them all.
You're not wrong. But you're not wrong.
The only one that I could think of in my head was just that Super. I don't know what the hell they were doing.
Dragon Ball Super. There was a lot made about Dragon Ball Super's animation quality, production quality being very substandard, especially for a supposedly A1 tier series. Is first new Dragon Ball in like over a decade, I think, on TV. And there was much made about how the quality on the initial episodes, the initial broadcast episodes, were really bad. But then on the DVDs, they went back and actually cleaned it up and fixed it. Upon the release, which was wild, right?
And then Fallen Marvel brings up, the obvious answer, in my opinion, is I think it was just because of the different artists. You can see the difference between the early episodes, Cell Saga, Buu Saga. So, and again, it's animation studios. They're trying to get it out there. Yeah, I get it. So you're going to run into that. Yeah, you're going to run into that quality control issues and various stuff. So.
Because clearly the later episodes, were way more detailed, not from the muscles to the hair, just way more detailed and a lot more stuff. Sections of Fallen Marvel was like sections of Super was definitely outsourced. 100%. So
again, Dragon Ball Super, when Goku Black showed up, my favorite line, "Don't shoot. This man is not black."
This man is not black.
It was like, and they left it in there. I was just like, all right, man. That was the most unironic, but just funny. It's just like, wow. It's just, I get it. In Japan, that might not come off the same way. But watching that on that Blu-ray, I'm just sitting there like,
no, that was funny.
They didn't care, and again, American Voice Cast read the line just the way it was, but I was just like, that's hilarious. It's like,
it was 100% funny, but no,
I love
so I have to ask you guys, and all of you guys out there in the chats, we this isn't the first time that we've had a beloved creator pass away. It's happened numerous times over the years, but I have to ask all of you out there, and I'll ask my fellow panelists too, and they may or may not, feel a certain way about it. But with manga properties being creator owned, right? It's not like the companies own them or anything. They are literally owned by the families and by the company. How do you personally feel about projects made with the IP after the creator has passed, when the creator was the original source of the content, right? We know Dragon Ball Z finished, or Dragon Ball finished. Dragon Ball Super has been primarily written and drawn by Toriyama's understudy. He's been doing it for years, and in fact, he's still doing it right now. Dragon Ball Daima, which is getting ready to come out this fall, which Toriyama was heavily involved in. So I think that's going to get a blessing. But do we think Dragon Ball Daima is going to be the end of Dragon Ball, or will they do more? Obviously, we know what the fans would say. We want there to be more. But how do you guys feel about it? Do you feel like it becomes a soulless money grab ripoff, or do you not care and you just want more no matter what?
If you're talking to us at the moment, which I believe you are, my honest opinion is just, look, first off, Dragon Ball makes too much money for them to just say shut it down. Second off, we all enjoy some sort of entertainment that has not been done by the original creator because they passed away. And if you like comic books, that is prevalent. I won't say every, majority, no. Legacy, there we go. Legacy characters, I guess you could call them. All of their creators. And when I say legacy, I think they're all the ones that were done when our grandparents were young. Because like Superman, Flash, Batman, almost anything by DC.
Yep.
Their creators are not here anymore. Now, granted, yeah, they were created and the rules were different for them because they didn't own any other characters.
Right.
But the company that does own them saw that they made money. And the families of who owns it, you know, is if that is the case, because we don't know if there's some kind of clause where, you know, his publisher, you know, when he dies, like we're going to buy this and own this, or to leave with the family. Either way, Dragon Ball makes way too much money, and people are happy for them to just be like, well, we're done. You know, it's done. Dragon Ball is going to live on forever.
Yeah, I mean, look at it like the case where with Naruto and Boruto, endless seasons of filler that the creator didn't create that. They didn't write that, but because it was such a cash cow, they wanted to keep it going in perpetuity because the fans would never get enough. They never wanted to stop watching. And you know, we're just going to keep this money train going until the wheels fall off. And I think that's where some fans have this problem where if it's not the creator's original story, they feel a little bit like it's soulless. You know what I mean? But I hear what you're saying. I 100% hear what you're saying. And out of the chat, you know, we got some good ones. Go ahead.
Look at it this way real quick. I look at it this way. If you're on team recast T'Challa, you can't be on team Dragon Ball should stop, because now you're contradicting yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, Chadwick's performance was amazing, but we know that the character of T'Challa has a lot more to offer as far as stories and all that sort of thing. Okay. Toriyama has an understudy. I'm just going to call him an understudy. That's the easiest way for me to say it. Who's been actually doing a lot of the stuff that people have been liking and enjoying. If he chooses to carry that on and you know, live within the same spirit and idea of what Toriyama originally laid out there, cool. That's fine. Same thing with Star Wars. A lot of people are little Disney is messing up Star Wars. Mandalorian is great. Rogue One was still, to this day, one of the coolest Star Wars stories ever done.
Yes.
And it didn't even have heavy lightsaber scenes, which you guys know I love.
Yes.
It had the Vader
100%.
hallway scene, but how many times have we copied the Vader hallway scene now that we've had, you know, moving forward? So it's like, people can do stuff, and again, Lucas obviously isn't dead, but you know, it's
but he doesn't own it
same,
anymore.
Yeah,
right?
It's the same universe under the reins of somebody else. So sometimes you need that. No, the original guy is not here anymore, or he's just, you know, walked away from it. Sometimes you need those other ideas to like push something to its next level. So I don't really mind. Yeah, I don't mind. Okay, once, you know, they have a period of whatever, this guy is the new head of Dragon Ball if he so chooses to be. Because again, like Dido said, no company is going to say, "Oh yeah, we don't want any more Dragon Ball money."
Right.
Like that's not going to happen.
No more. Yeah, no more. Yeah. No more game. I mean, look, the new Dragon Ball games are coming out all the time, right? We're getting that Dragon Ball Z Butoden Sparking or something like that, I think, getting ready to come out. That's getting ready to come out. So Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is still going. I think they just had that had a new DLC for that, and that game is like 5 years old now. I didn't even realize that. But out of the chat, there's a couple of good things. Like Kentaro Miura, I brought it up. Berserk. He passed away, right as Berserk was really, really, really getting good, and a lot of fans were worried about it. But yes, his understudies, his or I guess his interns or whatever, however you want to put it. They came out and said that we have all of his notes, we have his blessing, we're going to finish what he didn't get a chance to finish. And since that time, there's been 2 new chapters of Berserk that have come out that Miura, after he passed, that has continued the story. So I'm happy about that, right? Same thing with Toyotaro. I think it's going to be the same with that. B1N1 over on YouTube is saying that if Diamond is it, he's fine with that. Kaiju Jones saying there's 2 sides to that coin. I feel on one hand, the corporate side is motivated by greed. Yeah, on the other side, it's about keeping a memory alive and a great concept by extension to the man's legacy. Yeah, it's a great point. Great point. And I think some people feel some kind of way when corporations milk shit to death. Right. That's why I had such a huge problem with Naruto when they would never let it take a break and let people miss it. They wanted to just put endless entire seasons of filler out there because they knew the kids would just sit in front of the TV and just lap it up, even though the creator had nothing to do with a lot of those stories. They just made them up just to make them up.
I think, though, what people have to remember, and this is where people have a hard time divorcing themselves or separating themselves from the art and the product. The companies ain't, for the most part, are not putting this stuff out there for the sake of the art. They wanted to make money off of it. Right. That's what it's there for.
That's what it's all
Video
about.
games, movies, all of this stuff. They are quote unquote cash grabs because guess what? They ain't doing this for free. So we know Dragon Ball is going to continue in some form or another. It might be quote unquote soulless cash grabs from now on or whatever, or who knows, or maybe this new guy might be able to, not new guy, he's been around, but if he's going to be the one running it, might continue it in the same cool way we've done it, or maybe come up with something new that we haven't seen already. But it's silly for people to think that these companies are going to just not capitalize on something that's hot. Like, I watched maybe in my entire existence 2, maybe 3 episodes of Naruto, period, out of all of it, because it was never something that appealed to me overall. Because I'm like, dude, for me, it's, and I know it's not just like Dragon Ball, but at the time when it came out, I'm like, I've already done Z and GT. I don't need another series that's going to be billions of episodes of me trying to keep up. I'm like, I'm sticking with OVAs or whatever. That's what I'm gonna watch. No.
So are you saying you didn't watch Super? Is that what you're saying?
No, I have Super. I watched all of Super.
Okay,
Super,
you're talking about just
back
Naruto,
into watching.
period.
Yeah, I just didn't bother with Naruto. I didn't bother with One Piece is different because One Piece had already been started, and we all know that yes, you can binge One Piece. I don't have the time, but it can be done. I just haven't got into it, and I will eventually, maybe, who knows. But
great comment from YouTube. Great comment from YouTube by Problematic. New Dragon Ball might set a bad precedent for new anime. Do you want to see more Sailor Moon after its creator dies, or more Hunter x Hunter? That's a good one, and I want Daido to talk to this one, right? Because I think with Sailor Moon, Naoko Takeuchi was able to. They did Sailor Moon Crystal and those movies to make it more authentic to what she did in the manga, unlike the original anime run. Hunter x Hunter, I can't speak to because I haven't seen it. But
I watched all Hunter x Hunter, and I love Hunter x Hunter. It's great.
But is the manga done? Like, is the manga over, or is it
not 100% sure? Because I heard there was more coming, but I'm not 100% sure. There's a lot of stuff.
But it's been years, right?
I believe so. A lot of people say that they don't want to see things get ruined or what have you. And that is a subjective piece of course, of opinion, because if those who are a part of the manga, because these manga creators don't do everything themselves. You may think they do not, especially when they get really big. They're not drawing their stuff, they're not inking their stuff. They may be, doing like the basic for the plot of the storyline, but they got teams. There's teams of people doing this stuff, right? And unless those people don't really have the passion for what they're doing, or they don't like their creator, and they want to do their own thing, I'd assume they want the best for the story. And with saying that, I think some of them may be able to carry on stories using what they know of from the actual creator and or making up their own stuff. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Because again, Superman should have died then when Joe Shuster and excuse me,
Jerry Siegel.
Jerry Siegel died. Batman should have ended with Bob Kane died.
Bob Kane.
Blah, 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 blah.
Can you imagine? Yeah. Can you imagine if we had not gotten stuff after Bob Kane had died?
Yes. Yeah, well, that'd have been in the 90s, but still, it's just, to me, it's just like, I don't know, man. I'm a different, I think I'm on a different level than most people when it comes to watching stuff. I watch stuff to be entertained. I saw B1 say that he doesn't have the time or the stamina for Naruto or One Piece. Two things about that. If you find something that you enjoy, you all have the time for it. You just have to say, do I enjoy this? Does it entertain me? Naruto does have a lot of filler, and there are guides out there that you can literally go through and watch just the important stuff, because that's what I did. I wanted to finish Naruto. I didn't want to bother with the filler. I just said, look, I'm going to watch these episodes. One Piece, on the other hand, to me, is amazing. I've been watching One Piece before most of you guys even knew what One Piece was, and I was watching it fan sub through Kaizoku fan subs many fucking years ago when I could get my hands on it, and I still been watching it now.
There's a tinge of old school anime elitism at play right there when he says that.
It sounds a little elitist,
but I get
what I'm getting at is not an elitist thing. What I'm getting at is that I enjoy it. And I will continue to watch it because I enjoy it. I don't care how long something is, because when something ends and I really like it, I want more. Me personally, like, damn, there's been many times the series ended and I feel like I'm going to tear up because I'm not going to be able to watch anymore. I'm not going to be able to see anymore. It's all gone. Done. One Piece I didn't have to worry about. I've been watching that for a very long time. I've been loyal to One Piece. One Piece has been loyal to me. Right? So if you want to watch something, if you find entertainment in enjoying it, watch it. You have the time. You just have to make the time if you choose to do so. I'm not saying you have to choose to do anything. You do whatever the fuck you want.
B1N1's like, I don't have the time or stamina for Naruto or One Piece, which I get it, bro. Like Fallen Marvel even said earlier, I strictly started reading the manga after the Naruto fillers went on forever. I did too. That was me. Like I wouldn't even watch Naruto like for entire seasons until they started animating the stuff from the manga. That was 100% me. The guy who says he's on a different level is elitist. No.
When I say I'm on a different level, is because I don't shit on stuff like most anime fans.
No,
a lot
of
anime fans,
he doesn't gatekeep.
They watch this shit. They watch one episode and then they just start shitting on it and they don't know nothing about it. When I say I'm on another level, it's because I choose to watch things and I find entertainment in it. I find entertainment in almost everything I watch. I was talking to these guys before the show that I watched one of the weirdest movies that I've ever seen. It's called Smoking Causes Coughing. And I'm not going to tell you about it, but it's very weird. Fucking weird. And I watched it and I thought it was entertaining. I'm too many people. What's your bet? What's your unpopular take on anime? Oh, Naruto shit. One Piece of shit. You know why they're saying One Piece and Naruto and all those things are shit? It's because they're the most popular. Whenever something's most popular, everybody says it's shit.
That's true. They always want to tear down the popular stuff. Always.
Yeah. How many times I Jujutsu Kaisen shit, Demon Slayer shit,
Demon Slayer,
what's My Hero Academia shit.
Yeah,
I don't say anything is shit. You know what I would say? I like this, or I do not like this. So if you want to call me an elitist because I choose not to be on the level of everybody else,
you know, and I hope we get to a point where, you know, anime fans can stop this gatekeeping nonsense and just, you know, appreciate the stuff that is really popular and good, because the more anime fans there are, I feel like it's the better. Like, dude, remember, like we all remember, we're OGs when it comes to this stuff. When we were teenagers, was back in the 90s, and there was nowhere near as much anime as there is available to us now.
Not at all.
Not at all, right? And we were praying for a day like this to be reality. So we're certainly glad that the way it is now. So instead of us, knocking or trying to tear down the popular stuff, why don't you just elevate and say, hey, I see that you like this. Why don't you try this? It's something new that you may not have discovered that I think, because I really like it. Like, how many people would I love to preach and say that they should watch Hajime no Ippo? And many of them have never heard of it, right? And you're like, oh, it's a boxing, it's a boxing anime. What? It can't be good, dude. It's fire. Anyway, I digress. Fallen Marvel is right. No one appreciates anything. Problematic over on YouTube has a good one. Says, is the One Piece live as good as the anime?
Look at this. This right here.
That's straight from Japan. That's straight from Japan.
I love fucking Ippo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm watching an anime right now called Bofuri. Or Bofuri?
Mm-hmm.
Bofuri.
Yeah, Bofuri. Yeah. Bofuri.
And it's okay. I am enjoying it so far. But I for whatever reason, I like those OP isekai, even though it's not really isekai anime. Mashle is great. Really
Mashle is hilarious, bro.
Yeah, I think that was
it don't make no sense half the time, but it's freaking hilarious, man. Let's see.
I think the issue you run into is, and it's kind of based on what Preem is saying here. American anime fans, you don't know shit about this. I've been watching manga and anime since 2000. You're a noob. And literally, the thing is, especially in social media period, where we're at now, everybody thinks they're the center of the universe. So anything that they see and their opinion, and it didn't exist before I saw it. It's like, dude, Dragon Ball is older than most of the people that are watching it.
Correct. Came out in 1984.
Let's just be real.
Dragon Ball, they tried to put Dragon Ball on TV back in the 80s. And for whatever strange reason, I remember seeing it, like something was in my head, because when I first heard the Japanese Dragon Ball song, I was like, that sounds familiar. Because they put it on TV back in the 80s. And I remember being in the KB toy store, and it was a Krillin toy sitting on the register, and I just picked it up. And it had a button on his back, and it would kick his leg. And this was before Dragon Ball Z came out and all this stuff. And I was like, so yeah, anime has been around for a long. We've watching anime before we knew anime was anime.
That's true.
So
that's true.
I'm not trying to get anybody. I don't want to share anime. I just wish people would stop saying this stuff is trash for watching one episode. I wish people would stop saying stuff is trash, because trash means nobody should like it. It should be tossed away. You should be saying, I do not like it.
People have this weird obsession of saying that that they don't want anime to get bigger, which is weird for them to say, because then if everybody loves it, then it's not special. Then I'm not special anymore, which is freaking weird. That's so crazy.
People have to understand you're not special. Like, I'm just gonna be real about that. Special. People have to really understand that you're you, I'm me. There's other people out there that have similar interests. There's a lot of people out there that dislike stuff that we like. That does not make them any better or less than any of us. So it's like Dido's saying, enjoy what you enjoy. If you don't enjoy it, leave it alone. You don't have to tear it down or talk bad about it or whatever. It's not necessary.
It really is not. We only got a few minutes left, but you guys have been great in the chat today, 100%. Problematic did ask, there should be a fandom club ironically called the Gatekeepers. He's right about that. They are right about that. Excuse me. But is the One Piece live as good as the anime? Now, speaking as someone that has never seen the One Piece anime, right? I tried it, when it first came out over here dubbed. I couldn't get into it. I haven't watched it since. I watched One Piece because I felt like it was a perfect spot for me to jump on and get introduced to the property. I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was one of the best live action anime, creations I've ever seen. It was really well done. I loved every second of it. Is it as good as the anime? Probably not, because there's a lot of stuff that you cannot do in live action that is in the anime. 100%. They tried, and it just didn't hit the same, even in the live action. I know they tried to replicate it, but it just looks weird in live action.
Dido, what's your take on it? Because you've watched both, right?
Yeah, I did like both. I like both a lot, but yeah, there's definitely liberties that were taken out because it's live action. They changed some stuff subtly. Like, for example, Sanji is not a perv. I did not see a hint of pervertism when he met Nami. Sanji in the fucking anime is out of this goddamn world. Like when he was in the Wano arc and he found out he could turn invisible with the fucking suit that he got. Oh, I'm sneaking in the women's bathroom. And then he snuck in the women's bathroom and had a fucking cannonball explosion out of his nose because he finally saw Nami naked. That you will never see in a live action.
Yeah, I think, again, that's also a product of the world we live in, with the exception of, it's just like, hey, this ain't cool. Animation, fine, draw it, put it in manga, do whatever. For a general audience, I guess they're trying to avoid that.
The perverted
getting canceled, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Some things change.
Yeah, 100%.
They basically changed him a lot. So I mean, a lot of the other stuff still kind of felt, like One Piece, but overall, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I hope they do another season. I like to see where they go with it. Unfortunately, will we be here in 20 years and those characters still be there if they don't try to truncate this stuff? Because One Piece is that old.
Yes, and it's long. It's
I gotta
really,
seek
really,
after
really
the
long.
OAV that they did at One Piece back in the 90s. That has a completely different animation style than what it is now. I gotta find that out. I know it's out there somewhere.
Oh yeah, just real quick. Speaking of being around long enough for stuff, apparently the Batman 2 got pushed back to October 2026.
Woo!
Wait a minute. What?
The Batman 2. Not the Joker 2.
No, I heard you. You said 2026?
Yep.
No, they could no.
Yeah. I think quite a few projects are getting pushed back.
Yo, this is wild.
He went in with y'all will be here in 20 years. Modern medicine.
I mean, more than likely, man, we could probably be a heck of a lot.
You never know. You never know because Olivia Munn suddenly got announced she has breast cancer. So you never know.
I'll be here because I need to see how the MCU really ends. I need to see them fight Galactus. I need to see all of that. So, but yeah,
problematic is like they can have Pepe Le Pew but not anime pervs. If you had noticed, Pepe Le Pew has been like gone, like cut out.
They made a big deal about that when they did what was it, Space Jam 2? That like Pepe Le Pew was just basically not in it because like that ain't gonna fly nowadays. So there's things, and again, I get it. It's like, hey, stuff that was kind of funny and silly when we were growing up ain't necessarily acceptable anymore. And I don't really have a problem with that. It's like dude was basically molesting that cat. Like, first off, he needed some speed stick. And secondly, it's like, you just grabbing her and kissing on her. It's like, okay, we had a politician that said that was okay to do. And it's like, is it really? No. So, times change.
That's true.
What was it? Kaiju Jones. Appreciate you for coming through. Make sure you come back next week. Same time, same channel, and all that. But yeah, it's everybody. Pepe Le Pew. His girlfriend was it was Le Pew.
It was something. Cat?
Yeah, the cat.
Because the Tiny Toons, they had a skunk. I don't remember the skunk's name. Tiny Toons.
Well,
by the way, they got a new Tiny Toons that I just found out.
Really?
Yeah, it was a girl skunk. They got a new Tiny Toons. It's on season 2, apparently.
Oh wow. No,
it's Penelope Pussycat. Nice. It was Penelope Pussycat.
Okay. Well, the girl skunk's name was Fifi Lemieux, I think.
Yeah, Fifi.
On Tiny Toons,
Tiny Toons, I don't know if they shredded it.
They made her purple for whatever reason. Funniest episode of Tiny Toons.
Olivia Munn had a double mastectomy. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, she did.
We were just talking about that earlier before we started. The funniest episode of Tiny Toons to me, besides the celebrity parody one where they had like Plucky Duck parking the Enterprise and Batmobile and other. The funniest episode was the foul mouth episode. I never thought I would see something like that on network TV, and I'm
trying to remember the foul mouth episode.
It was this guy.
Look out, Horatio.
Yeah. Well, no. Particle Man is still
Particle Man is the funniest.
Best.
Yes.
But
Particle Man.
If you go back and look it up, it's probably on YouTube somewhere. The foul mouth episode was this guy wanted to ask which was the crazy like psychic duck, whatever. Anyway, he wanted to ask her out, but his problem was he cursed 10 times worse than a sailor. And it was one of those episodes where he opened his mouth and profanities after profanity, but obviously they were bleeping it out. So the whole episode was like Buster's trying to teach him to not lose your temper, hold your tongue. And it was like they're literally running censor beeps through this whole episode. This is hilarious.
Was it the bleep or not to bleep? That type of thing? Oh man, I can't wait to watch this. Okay.
I mean, again,
he tried to ask Shirley out on a date. That's what
Shirley,
it was.
that's
okay,
her name. Yeah, because she was supposed to be a take on
Shirley the Loon. Yep.
Yeah, she was supposed to be a take on Shirley MacLaine. Again, our cartoons were very, very intelligent.
Crazy.
G.I. Joe, you need a thesaurus to figure out what they were talking about.
Bro, them PSAs. Crazy. Anyway, we could go on for forever, but we're a little bit over our time. We want to thank everybody for coming out and enjoying the show. If you haven't seen us yet, or if you haven't followed us over on our YouTube channel, please go over there, youtube.com/Culture Junkies. Hit us up over there. Same with twitch.com/Culture Junkies. Same with kick.com/Culture Junkies. Follow us on all the socials so you know when we go live and you don't miss our next episode. So great talk, gentlemen. It's been a blast. Can't wait to do this again next week for my friends, the Great Adakuji and GQ. Kishiro, we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
And problematic. I believe there was an episode where they were drunk, but it got pulled or altered or whatever. They did all that kind of stuff back in the day.
Yeah, there was one. And just to answer his last question, he says if the new Tiny Toons or Animaniacs was any good. I watched them both. I wasn't impressed, but I'm going to keep watching in order to get a full opinion.
Fair enough.
Some people are sad that we're ending at 10, but it is what it is. We respect everybody's time, but hey, if we get popular enough, if we get popular enough, maybe we'll extend the show longer, but we have to play these things by ear. So bring your friends next time. Let's make the show grow and get bigger.
Absolutely.
See you guys next week. Have a good one.
Peace.